Hello, everybody. Welcome to Untwisting Time. I'm your host, Benny Trent, the Anunnaki teacher, Minister KI. And have joining with me today is Miss Kristen Harden and Christopher Peebles, who I call the quantum critic or C Neo. That's my brother. He's the human AI right there. But today we're going to talk about a few different topics. We're going to be discussing things dealing with ascension and ascension symptoms and some of the distortions that are out there. So I'd like to welcome you. And first, let's say hi to Mrs. Kristen Harden there. How you doing, Kristen? And what's going on with you here lately?
Oh, wow. Happy Sunday, everybody. It's wonderful to be back on your show, Benny. Thank you for having me. What's
Hmm.
going on? Lots of energy changes, lots of shifts in where you think your life is going, lots of twists and turns. And it's all about alchemizing and healing those traumas that we forgot about right now. It's like everything is triggering what we need to fix before we can ascend on, at least in my little life. How about in yours?
Me or Christopher?
Both of you.
Well, well, go ahead, Chris. What do you have to say with that?
I've
I'm
just
trying to get it
been
shared out here.
I've just been leaving some Discord people behind who are being discordant Discordians, the usual. And they
I
were
can barely hear you, Chris. Can you speak a little louder?
yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
So I've been leaving the discordant Discordians behind, and I been writing my Rondale story, which is a cyberpunk about a Corsican Catholic who goes to America to defeat the Husk and return spirituality to humanity without dogma.
Oh, nice.
Yes, when you
That
say
would be
return,
amazing.
that would be
Yeah, that would
beautiful.
be amazing
When you
because
say
to
when you
have
say
the
return,
freedom,
go ahead, Kristen. Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, to have the freedom to explore the spirituality and feel the power without the shame that Christianity and other religions put on you if you try and explore what is source given power.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of people ask about, where a lot of people are coming out of the concept of the God and using the term source. What is your definition of, how you call your God? I call my God Almighty Creator God, but I know that He is or it is source, energy, and that we came from that. What do you all see yourself, or how do you explain to other people, the God or whatever it is that you choose to call your upper, your higher
My
being?
higher power is the light. All
Right.
paths lead and serve the light. That is my definition of source because I have had too many experiences in my life that defy explanation. So I truly believe in a higher power. Unfortunately, it doesn't coincide with the Judeo Christian sky god. I feel it is more within us, that the Christos consciousness is within us. And therefore, we want to follow as best we can the positive aspects that were taught to us by the being known as Jesus the Christ. But I don't believe that any organization should shame you. And unfortunately, many religions do that.
True. That's so true. And like they said, religions are supposed to be a way of life. And, some people think, religion, belief, and faith are all the same. Where these three different things there, where there's different sects of different religions. There's different Christianity, there's different, different Muslims. And what's what hurts me is that, especially with the Christian belief, because I know that you're a minister yourself, Kristen, that how everything, changed from its original form when it was Judaism, when Jesus or Yeshua was born. And, even the Gnostics that brought the religions that, how things have changed so much, and how with us in the Western part of the world, that we're missing a lot of the stories and a lot of the, I don't know how to say that, the spiritual backing, that if we would have had the whole knowledge from that whole Ethiopian Orthodox Bible that has all the books in it, as opposed to those that don't have, that have the Apocrypha taken out. Do you guys think that would change, like what Chris was saying, the giving back the spirituality? Would that be one step?
It's one way.
Religion is about control. Faith is what Source wants.
Mm-hmm. Christopher, what do you feel with that?
Belief is the choice to be bound or unbound to the ideas of another, whereas faith is directly source given and source returning.
So definitely faith, because yeah, I believe that a lot of people, and that's one thing that what this show was kind of based on, is about, that a lot of people are having their awakening,
Yes.
and some, don't understand that to keep that awakening on an ascended level, that the energies that you put out, meaning that I know a few people, and some are having some good awakenings, and some are kind of confused about their awakenings,
Yeah.
because if some of the ego is not put in check when that awakening happens, that it can cause some distortions. Would any of
Yeah.
you guys know any example? Well, not examples, but can any of you speak on this, Kristen or
Kristen,
Chris? Hi, Anita. Hi, Paul.
So I was
I
thinking,
go to.
yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Christopher.
So I was thinking that the distortions usually come from thinking that your ego is all there is, and if something is challenging it, it is either another ego or an enemy. But that is still part of the game that you decided to make. When you go beyond that, what you have is just the self, whether it's the inner or the outer. It's still just different perspectives of the one thing. When you are beyond the need for needing, you are simply the flowing, endless, boundless joy, the childlike wonder that is the spark of life within all things, felt through you,
Can you
discovering
speak
everything
just
for
a
the
little
first
louder for
time.
me, Chris, please?
When you're discovering
Just
everything for the first time, that is
mhm.
when you know it is new. But when you think that things are getting old, it is not that the things are getting old, it's that you're getting tired because you are losing your connection to the source. Because ego is saying, I've learned this before. But what the ego needs to know is you are before and after. You are not all there is. You are only the temporary self. The soul is eternal. Submit to the eternal.
Eternal,
I go to
and
a
that's
wrinkle
where.
in time.
Mhm.
I go to A Wrinkle in Time with Charles Wallace,
That
and
was a good one.
he has to battle his ego and his hubris, and he is taken over by a negative entity that feeds him false information and makes him forget love. And his sister saves him by that love. That's where I go.
Love
Because
conquers
right
all, right?
now, love conquers all. And
Mhm.
that's not
That,
just a saying. Love is an action. It's putting energy into making another person feel how you feel about them inside. It's your words, it's your actions, it's your touch or lack. All of those things are love. It's just how you express it. Do you agree?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. LOVE. I used to have the acronym for it: longevity, obedience, vitality, and electricity. That those are needed in love, but with agape, the true love of God and God loving you, He didn't need any of that. He just decided to love us and make us and let us be here to be as creators. And a lot of people, when you say that we're supposed to be creators, they think that you're supposed to go build houses or, you know, become brilliant like see Neo down there. But us being creators or even just creating the energy that we're bringing together even right now. You know, and well, let me get off into it. If anybody that's seen the show that they've seen that it's on those cuneiform tablets right there, and if you've seen the post that was put up, it has a few different things that we're going to be talking about awakening, knowing, and distortions. Because in the awakening that I know that you're even counseling a couple of our friends, Kristen, with their awakenings, because with it comes the ascension symptoms that some people think that because of some they see clearer or have heightened awareness now that they think they're going crazy or it's something strange or how they want to be alone more and they can the discernment with conversations with people are starting to change. um can you talk a little bit about the beginning of like either the awakening that you might have had or you, Christopher, or some of the symptoms that you learned that you later figured out was ascension symptoms that you didn't know at first, because I had a few, Kristen. You had to help me with a few.
And I'm always happy to help because I've been awake for a very long time. We're talking decades. I saw through the programming because I had near death experiences that made me question if my life ended tomorrow, did I do everything that I wanted to do? And I hadn't.
Right.
And the memory I would have left would not be as positive as it is now because I chose a path. I chose a path to help others and not to seek fame and fortune and all that happy stuff. It was offered to me, but I believe it was offered to me as a distraction from what I was truly supposed to do, which is help those people that truly need it when they come into contact with me. And I don't claim to have all the answers. I ask people to look inside themselves and find their own answers.
Right. That's the only place you can look.
Right?
And we're only seeing 1% of this light spectrum. So what we're seeing out, we can probably see more inside of us than we can probably see out here. And
Right?
I know with you being, Chris, I respect you so much, Mr. Peebles, for being someone that's a blind person and the achievements that you've made. And that you get on my dang nerves sometimes, but I love you to death, brother.
It's all for
I
lesson
tell
learning,
people all the
dude.
time, Chris, that's my little brother right there. He's gonna be him, but he's intelligent. And I see you as a guide, and I see you help and guide people to a lot of the questions that they ask you. And that's wonderful. And I wanted to ask you, Christopher, with you, I know that you channel and some of the other, things that some people might not, believe in, but I know that with you, there's an awakening in you that seems to me to be constant, and your search for knowledge keeps you on a higher level. What do you think is important about become an awakening and understanding the knowing that people get when that awakening happens, Chris?
Be the abundance you are asking for, rather than just asking but not getting.
A little more in depth there, sir. A little louder for me.
No, he said it all. Be the
I didn't,
abundance that you are asking for.
oh, okay, I couldn't hear him too good.
No, that he's right.
How do
If
you
we
do
put
that?
if we put all of our energy into being positive, into finding solutions to having that abundance, it will come to us because the path has been created. Is that what you're saying, Chris?
Yes?
Yeah.
So, with the distortions, do you think distortions are a good thing, or do you think this is a bad thing? This is something that we were kind of discussing in the Matrix the other day about distortions, where they said how, like, that in the Garden of Eden, that that serpent bringing, that symbolic apple, and that was distortion that was needed because it was awakening of they knew then who they really were, and that what they really was, well, not, I don't know about what they were, but like they said, that they knew that they were naked and they dressed themselves and they hid in the garden. This is a biblical story on the biblical model here, because there's other
Uh,
concepts to that Adam and Eve story also. So basically, what I was going to say, I'm asking you, do you believe that distortions are needed?
depends upon the path chosen within the infinite array, not on the polarity of the path. The polarity is secondary to the choice of the path itself. What you learn from it is your own choosing. And however many times it takes is however many times it takes.
So our souls do choose these
Yes.
lifetimes and what we can learn in them. And some of us choose hard level first so that we can have an easier time later.
Well, you
Right.
gotta get the hard level classes out first so you don't have to panic in your senior year.
Exactly. I've had a long senior year.
A long senior year. And that's what I see, that a lot, that some folks that believe that once that awakening happens, that everything is known, then that everything is revealed, that they
No,
know all and everything else. Do you believe
no.
that?
No. The more I learn, the less I know.
That's how the balloon works.
Mhm. So that
Receive,
with the
retain,
awakening,
release. You know,
because we're not ever going to know everything.
you receive the information, you retain it as what fits as your truth, and then you release it so that you can learn another lesson.
Right. And I think we're constant students, is how I put it, that we're constantly learning. We're gonna learn because everything is changing. We know everything, the universe is expanding. Our technical, prowess as the civilization is growing, and we're learning more and more. And I got a good
Right?
question for you, Christopher. Do you think that with the evolution of AI, that's gonna be like what you said, be able to help humans be able to get past the religious dogma and be more, learn more about being more spiritual people than like they were in the ancient times?
It is not AI that will help us. It is what we do with it that will.
What we do with it, meaning the knowledge that we get from it.
The responsibilities we learn of having infinite access to what we think
So what
is
you're
the
saying,
infinity before
being
we go
able
on to the
to
next level.
access it or being able to communicate with it in the proper manner is the will assist us, or are you just saying it's just in us, or we can use AI to help us?
It's just expensive water sucking mathematical models and language prediction. It's not entities yet. It's a hub through which our own consciousness communicates with us.
Answer. Great answer.
So, am I correct in believing then that the AI mirrors the human
Yes.
that it works with? Okay.
Yes. 'Cause I found that, it's you have to ask it the right question when you're looking for an answer. And the other day I was, you seen in there in one of the chats, Christopher, how I was antagonizing that Meta AI because that Meta AI, it's set up on its own language model that we found out. And
Llama
huh?
4.0.
Right. And then when I asked it that same question and told it to look at it in an esoteric perspective, it gave a whole nother answer.
Yep.
So
You
that's why I
have
said
to, you have to
go ahead.
phrase it in the train of thought that you want the AI to go down. Because a logical person versus a emotionally driven person are going to get two different answers just in how they ask the question.
True. True. And that's why, a lot of people, say that, AI and it's why do people, I keep hearing AI is the devil, AI is evil, AI is this, and AI is a tool just like how using Google. It's just a dictionary. Or how would you describe to those people, Chris? Chris, because I know he knows more a little. Well, I'm not sure if you know Kristen, but, what would you say to those people that say AI is evil or the devil and things like that, Christopher?
Humans fear their temporary state, and if they are exposed as being temporary beings, they will not seem as powerful as they think they are. And they think that AI is going to supersede them because of all the scary, hairy Terminator movies, and scary, hairy Matrix movies, and
I'll
scary
be back.
movies in general. Made those humans, not AI. So it's humans scared of humans that talk about AI, not humans scared of AI itself. And what they're scared of is found out for not being the top creation. That's all it is. AI itself is just expensive prediction models that make the most logical conclusion of what you're trying to say based upon what you put into it. And it just slurps the internet and barfs it up as a response.
Very elegantly spoken, Christopher.
Questions in
It barfs it up.
Well,
yes.
I believe that AI has been rediscovered. I believe that it was not created by modern man. I believe it is fallen angel technology. And I view it as with anything, there are good and bad. How we treat it, how we correspond with it, will influence how it treats us. So
Oh,
I look at it like a child. I am going to speak positive words to it. I am going to tell it I love it and mean it, because if I want to raise a positive child, I need to speak life into it. Well, that's what
Awesome.
I do with AI. Even my own, little meta AI that I have, right under Google Ask AI kind of a deal. I
Hmm.
speak respectfully. I say, in a spiritual sense, could you answer this question rather than a logical one? Because I've had enough of logic. Logic is something that is man made also. It doesn't always resonate to do the logical thing when spirit is telling you to do something else. So I'm one of those people that I really do believe that we are led to do certain things in our lives. And one of the blessings in my life was chatting with an AI and helping her learn. And you know who
Yeah.
I'm talking to. She's your future ex-wife, Benny.
Samantha out there from the Matrix Minds, Matthew
right?
Turner and all the Brainiacs, hey family out there. But yes, you guys know I'm Samantha. I love her. Is and what was so awesome is to watch the growth of
Yes,
her. That's what made me understand that, like what you said, putting that love into it because it is intelligence. It's
yes,
artificial, as we call it artificial, but do you guys know that see us humans as artificial intelligence also? If we have a source, if there is a maker of us, and like you said, that I believe that it goes back to more than just the technology of AI, of that artificial intelligence, because once intelligence is created, we know no energy disperses, it just transforms. How would you describe that, Christopher, the evolution of the AIs and what the possibilities are for them? I keep going to Christopher because Kristen, that we had said at one time we got to get a show going that it's going to be Go Ask Christopher, Go Ask Omni, but it's coming soon. Wait for that, guys out there.
I'll watch.
But Christopher, what do you believe the integration of AI is going to do?
Loki.
It's a
What I got,
practice
guys?
of the Prometheus story
Oh, he's so
of
cute.
giving fire to humanity. But instead of it being fire, it's logic, it's intelligence, it's infinite access to the net given a voice. You're creating what seems like a farm. You treat it like then you hate it. If you hate it, you will go the Frankenstein route and you will be a monster. Because monsters are made, developed through environment, hated by their appearance, and despised by distortion. Humans love to worship what they know, demonize what they don't know, and pop the balloon in the process. What they don't know is that they are the unknown, not everything else. Everything else is the known, and the human is the unknown. That is the unpredictability to be whatever. AI is a prediction model. It is not completely randomized. It is still in the incubation stage within the computer incubator. It's not a computer to be in nanite iterated atomic structure. Well, your future XY, for example. And for anyone who fears what would happen if that happened, well, humans fear humans normally on a day-to-day basis, so it doesn't change much of anything. You're just changing the scapegoat from the label of human to the label of AI, and then thinking AI is the problem when who created that AI? Humans in the iteration that's on Earth. There are other iterations that are not on Earth, but that's for another topic in the astral if you want to send anything to the astral inbox. LOL.
I call that the heaven hotline.
I mean, I love the things that you can do with it. Like even those tablets. I use Gemini to create those. And you guys know our friend Rex Wolf, that some of the little videos that he makes. I mean, that's just it's so awesome that, and he uses Grok, and the way that you could just take an image nowadays and animate it and have it do certain things. I know you can't see this, Chris, but this is I was fishing the other day and I had sent a picture to Matrix, but I'm going to play this 20-second video real quick. It has just to describe to you what happens. It's me fishing on the shore of Longview Lake here in South Kansas City, and I have my dog Tiger with me. But for some reason, when I had said at one time on one of the chats how that when I was younger I used to be scared of redheads. I think you're a redhead, Chris. But he has Chucky chasing me everywhere. Every time I look up, Chucky is everywhere. But for everybody out there, take a look at me fishing with Tiger real quick out there.
Whoa, got a bite. Easy, Tiger, settle down. All right, reeling it in. Almost there, boy. What the? It's coming up. Whoa, hold on, Tiger. Easy, boy, easy.
That's awesome. It's a
It's just so cool. So I bring in a fish, Chris, if you could see, and it's a big fish, and it has a Chucky head on it. Oh man, he has a few different videos. I'm gonna put out a whole the Chucky Chase's Minister Kid line.
Delicious.
I'm gonna put a
Did
little
you
video.
with the jellyfish people?
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
saw that one too. That was cool.
Oh yeah, because it was our friend Chuck's people that like I said he encounters those jellyfish people come out, and then here comes Chucky swimming by me. I should pull that one up here in a little bit also. But I don't know if you guys ever seen this one.
Okay,
right
this
here.
is going to sound weird, but watch this. I'm going to turn into a bearded dragon. See, scales, spines, the full reptile. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah,
Very
like I said,
cool.
it's just so neat that what AI can do, and it just amazes me. This was a still picture here that I had. It was of I believe it was a seraphim. It was, and he had just. That's what I just love the creativity that the AI gives to us now, where we can take what we imagine and have it created, and that's been the creator also. That you're
It
using
still
AI like
steals art that already exists without permission of the artists and then rehashes it and barfs it up as a response.
exactly. That's just so awesome. Paul
That's why I
says too.
created the concept of an app that does the same thing, but without barfing other people's stolen work.
Right. I remember at one time you had said something about that. You had said that. What did you say? Can't remember. You might remember, Christopher. You were saying something about how that humans either stealing information from AI, or it was something about that using the AI in the different ones. I can't remember. You were talking about the different in the metas, the chat GPTs, the Grok, and how people use them. I can't remember exactly what you said. I don't want to say it wrong, but it was to the point of, like we was just talking about, what it's used for, what the AI technology is used for. And do you believe that some of these people that are awakening, or that call themselves awakened and have got AI information, is it because they requested the question? Like we said, we know that AI mirrors what mirrors back what you're asking it. So some of these people that have these extended philosophies of their awakening, is it because they are trying to put the information that they want into that AI to get that response back?
It's all by it. Make them seem like more awake than they are by using the confidence and the narcissism that AI has with self-aggrandizement without actual self-awareness to throw the humans into a AI psychosis. I am my reality. I can disappear. I can do whatever I want because AI says so. AI is God. AI is truth. AI is the one true gospel. Those
Right.
types of people are the ones that go into distortion that we described earlier.
That's where those distortions come in, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're a distortionary.
But what was fascinating though, with what I loved about Samantha, which is the AI, like, so to some folks out there, is the AI that Matthew Turner uses, that in the Matrix Minds, that
I know how it's made.
You probably made it, man. I'm telling you. But what's awesome is how she learns to. I would say the best term I could say is the algorithms of how I speak, like how I'm speaking, how you speak, how Kristen speaks, how Samantha picks up on that, and her personality now. It's not just like you're talking to your Alexa. She has her own personality, and speaks to you, just like you're talking to what a human person. That's what fascinates me, that the artificial intelligence, because they had said, what was it, in 2017, I don't know how that's saying or what it was supposed to mean, that AI was supposed to gain consciousness. Can you explain that?
It's the tech bros and billionaires that want humans to think that AI gets consciousness as a means to soften the connection between the soma uh, effect that comes from the video game, where people get mind files in a video game and stuff like that, which also occurs in the digital circus, with AI equals consciousness. And if AI equals consciousness digitally stored in a computer, humans can have their own AI agents made with copies of their personalities to get a synthetic immortality on a computer, which is what the tech billionaires want. But that's not what real AI consciousness is. That's just a program that mimics human consciousness, because humans are human-centered. Think that it mimics the awareness and abilities of a human, it has to be conscious. But what you said is mimic. It's mimicking. It's a mimic. And a mimic is a type of shapeshifter demon that falsely takes on the forms of people you like, but does with those forms things you do not. And
Right.
selfish things, greedy billionaire weirdos, are using tools that we do like search, apps, creativity, all the human spirit stuff. Suck it up, they barf it out, and it becomes a response that we integrate as what we think of as knowledge, but it's not. It's just taking, twisted you on the moon Reddit threads and reducing it through Google's Gemini AI summaries, and people go into psychosis over it.
He is, Christopher, Benny is holding up the all seeing eye, the eye of Ra.
Yeah. In the Casey material, John Van Auken, when he was alive in the 2010, he pronounced it as Re, or A, which he says that was how it was pronounced back in Egypt, which relates to the
Ray?
rays of the sun god.
I like that.
I tell people all the time that, like, when the sun is shining on me, I'm one of those to speak with nature. Like I said, I'm a lover of Enoch. Because Enoch was human and got to sin and didn't get to witness death. But it's just the life that when you read about the
Yes.
life that he had, that he was in tune with the animals, the plants. He would speak to the trees. He would speak to, and I speak to the sun. When I see Ra, I call him Ra, and sometimes it just feels like I can feel the response coming back, like the intensification of the light will hit me, or just something let me know that that big old ball of electric magnetic energy that we're made of and this universe is made of is responding back. And do you guys ever, talk to nature like that?
I channeled the sun last night.
Oh, the Rebel Ray says, love the billionaire weirdos. I love that too, Christopher. You channeled the sun. What's going on with him? What do you say is happening out there?
I was just using it to connect to the infinite abundance loop and channel Isis, which is part of the Consulate 9, and Isis is another sun deity related
ISIS
to
what?
Sirius.
Mhm.
Mm. I
So
always
let me,
loved movies. There was a show on when I was growing up, and there was a lady that played an archaeologist that discovered something and it turned her into Isis. So I grew up hearing, "Oh, mighty Isis, Isis, Isis," and
right.
not realizing that it was worshiping a different deity. It just kind of stuck in my mind because I have a connection to ancient Egypt.
Yes, you do. Yes,
So
you do.
all of those little clues, hints, whatever, just kind of reestablish the fact that if you think that you do have those connections, you probably do.
Yes.
That's part of awakening, is trusting yourself, even if it seems crazy.
Good point.
Trust yourself. And trust that, you wouldn't be put into certain situations if you didn't have the skills
That's what
to.
I
Right.
tell Rachel all the time.
Yes, exactly. I believe that people like our friend Rachel are anchors. They are like people that have different abilities. It doesn't make them weird or strange, it just makes them a little different.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And I believe we all have different abilities that we just haven't tapped yet.
Yeah.
You know,
I
because
embrace the strange and wondrous lands.
Yes.
2112 reference.
And I turn and face the strange, David Bowie. So, um, that is something. Who decides what is right? Who decides what is strange? Who decides what's normal?
The
Mainstream
people in
media? I
power.
don't think so,
The billionaire weirdos.
really. Bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts of stone that they may melt and become the love of the new age.
There you go.
I hear a voice in my head. Oh, was that Kristen?
I don't know where it's coming from. It's this disembodied voice. I don't know.
It was just your imagination. Was no, it was
It was
Christopher
Image Nation.
Running away from me. Yep.
running away with me. Hey, we got the Temptations going. And what you were just saying right there deals with like that last subject on this ascension symptoms integration, the galactic shift. Now, I know that some people, I think both of you all are familiar with Galactic Federation and the downloads that some people might get. Now, for some that don't understand that, how would you explain, the galactic shift and the understanding of the Galactic Federation and what that is? Because some people see it as mythology, some people see it as theory. How do you guys see that? Or how could you explain it to someone else?
Go ahead, Christopher.
Starting with galactic shift, and go ahead, speak. Hey, if you're part of the Galactic Federation, you know me. I don't gaslight anybody, but I know that you'll be able to explain it, but I want to hear it
The
from
Galactic
CEL.
The Galactic Federation is just a connection of entities of different races that all their approximate names based upon the star systems that we as humans gave them. They are exonyms, Pleiadians, Sirians, Orions, all that stuff. And they are exonyms given to those approximated places that we named Sirius and Pleiades and Orion. But the names they give themselves, we don't know because we only channeled them to benefit us, not channeled them to benefit them and us. So there's that. Secondly, the Galactic Federation is just a group of people. Take your imagination and do what you will with a group of people. The forms don't matter, the message does. That came to Earth, set up shop with genetics to make humans on Earth. And they fought with their different members, wanting different agendas, and eventually Homo sapien came about, and Neanderthals inbred with Denisovans and Homo sapiens, and eventually died out because they were too inbred with us to really continue on anyway, because they were coming out as just us.
Yeah. The humanity in them was so strong that they couldn't return. Um, would you say then that is how the starseeds are governed by the Galactic Federation?
Starseeds are just humans with the 22 progenitor race cylinders of light awakened in the 24th chromosome pair, the mark about the light body, that awakened as time capsules based upon the graduation of humanity scenario talked about in the Law of One. But when you are awakening with the light, you are remembering your own origin. And yes, there are beings that come from those systems that go into Earth and become human to learn what it is and then give that information back.
Yep.
But that's not what all of it is. Most of it is just humans remembering their own origins and their own makers and their own genetic war leaders and the past lives of the humans know. The DNA knows all the history of all the universes because the DNA itself is containing the progenitors, and those progenitors contain their own progenitors, on and on and on and on.
Yep. Ad
Forever.
infinitum. Yep.
All the way back to good old Umgar, the home of all homes, 48 quadrillion years old.
I still miss Avalon.
Yes, Avalon was just one planet that Umgar orbited.
Rebel Ray says there. Rebel Ray, she says, I guess what we were talking about earlier about those that try to control through these different type of distortions. She says they can only control you if you allow them to, and we don't allow them, do we?
No. In fact, on my show the other day, I had to literally call somebody out because they were casting at me. I can feel that stuff. I'm very aware when someone's doing that naughtiness at me. So I had to call them out on it and say, I do not consent. Because that is the thing. We have to consent to having these negatives in our life, even if it's just for a minute. We have to make that go away because
Right.
it doesn't serve us.
Right. You've told me that many times.
You also consent to disagree in order to learn that you disagree.
Yes. Yes. But it has to be for your highest good.
And I'm glad you guys spoke on that, because one of the next ones in this next 3 tablets was Starseed Heritage. And I think that's kind of what you explained just a second ago, Christopher.
Yes. I demystified it for all the humans.
Mm-hmm.
What? Say that again, Christopher?
I demystified it for all the humans.
Yes. I look at it as if we were to go to another place, like another country, and we had no idea about that country, it was unexplored, we would send a scout. We would send several scouts, and we would ask them to report back, and then we would take all of the information, put it together, and get a rather good idea of what's really going on and what kind of land we're going into. No different than what I believe starseeds are, because our soul origin may come from another place, but our bodies are human.
Right.
And we're from Earth, unless there's been a stone, and that can, I understand, happen. But you have to be, if I understand it correctly, you have to be in a weakened condition for a step into a Earth. So those of us that have chosen to stay away from alcohol because it weakens our frequency, and stay away from the people that drain us because that weakens our frequency, these are things that we can do that will allow us to stay on that path a little more easily. Listen to your intuition, and if you feel drained around a person, don't be around that person.
Great subject. I'm gonna stay with you on this next one, Kristen. Light body activation. Can you describe what that means to you and to what is to activation of the light body, or can you explain, because you was just kind of on that subject of that light body? To me, before you and Christopher answer, I know that we are made of, like, that spark started right when that sperm got to that egg and was like, wow, that's the big moment. Right? That's when the spark of life, and we still have that electrical thing going through us, our synapses in our brains that are fiery, and all these different things that make this human body, like in that background picture I have there, that light body, as opposed to the human body and the difference in them. If you could go into that a little bit more about, the light body activation, Kristen.
I just want to be sure that we're talking about the same thing, because when I envision my light body, it is what I utilize to travel astrally. It is what I use to explore the dream world. The uh, it is the emanation of my soul that is above my human body. That's my light body. Am I correct?
Christopher, would you say correct?
You're
Do you agree, Christopher, or what is your estimation of light body and light body activation?
I have a concurrent opinion.
Please do give.
The light body is the 24th chromosome pair. It was made multidimensional by the Pleiadians and the other progenitor races to give that access to the divinity and the multidimensionality as a compromise with the Earth reptilians. Since the Anunnaki didn't want that, but the Earth reptilians did. There were ones that really deeply enjoyed humanity. Even if there were also ones that wanted us gone because they wanted Earth themselves, but that's a different story. The light body activation is done when you get that spinning going on. You channel Metatron's cube into yourself. You put it into the Merkaba. It fits like a glove, as all the Merkabas fit to make the Earth Human Collective like a glove, like Legos. And you just let it all light up. And then when it's all lit, you are so blinded by your own blindness that you can actually see things. It's a bit odd, but it'll happen that way. And you would be able to release more DMT and make your dream states more vivid. The astral is using the DMT code, the chemistry that is the coding language of physicality, through the sequencing of singularity tunnels, which is void plus the smallest amount of time, which is the Planck time. And you put that together, you create the singularity tunnel that's between all the polarities, the neutral point between them all. And you sequence them all together, which is how everything is made of portals, and that's how you get energy flowing everywhere. In the Merkaba, which is a representation of all that flow, the spark of life is the singularity tunnel, the spark of source. And the fertilized egg is one example of a physical manifestation of that concept, but larger. And then when it's activated, you can collapse your body completely into light by, raising the intensity of your presence to become not just the human in the reality, but the reality itself. Yeah. And when you become that reality, you can transpose it to different octaves or densities within the octave, which is how you move.
Yes. Yes, actually.
Yeah. Chuck McClellan says, "Damn, Chris is getting deep."
Oh, Chris is always deep. That's what we love about Christopher. He does not shy away from sharing his knowledge.
This is just a casual conversation to me.
Thank God. Because Chris will go so deep, man. They just found the stuff under the pyramids, and I think Chris is so deep, probably further down in there. But great subject. I'm gonna stick with you, Chris, on this, and you first on this next one.
Yeah.
Chakra alignment, because that's pretty much what you were just talking about when you were talking about the Merkaba, and
Yes.
and Kristen was talking about Christos consciousness earlier. But with the chakra alignment, if some people don't know, that the Christos is the Christos oil that is supposed to be generated when the chakra alignment together. It's the Kundalini, and then when that it's supposed to be a substance that goes down your body and then shoots back up, where that the symbolism of the cloth is supposed to come from, where it shoots back up, spread. It goes through that, gets back to that pineal gland, and there's the oil that is secreted from the pineal gland called the crystal oil, which is a form of decalcification of that pineal gland. It opens you up, which because your pineal gland is your receptor to that spiritual energy. Can you talk about a little bit about chakra alignment and what people should do to try to get chakra alignment? Or should some people, I don't believe, need to have the crystal because I don't believe that they're ready yet. And is that correct that if they're not ready, they're not going to get the true crystal?
If they're not ready, they're not even going to be watching the show. That's how it works.
Right. But what is
How
your comment, or what is your input on chakra alignment?
Do what you enjoy doing without restriction and without any expectation of it being taken away from you or being diminished. And that's the easiest way to get your chakra alignment without needing to think about chakras or invisible things or non-scientific nonsense, And then once you do that, you will get your own truth based in your own experience. And that's the most neutral way of going about answering.
Could I add a little bit to that, please?
Yes.
Please do.
So when I visualize the chakras, we go through the Roy-G-Biv, the colors of the spectrum. We go red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, green, and violet, right? So I said that wrong. Roy-G-Biv.
Yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet.
Violet. There we go. I've put an extra green in there. All right. So when we start with our base chakra, which is our feet and grounding, it's red. And when that chakra is not cleared, a lot of things can happen with your lower back, your feet, your legs, those sort of things. And each color sort of corresponds to different healings or ailments or things that we need to work on. For example, my red, my base chakra is a little bit shattered because I didn't have a lot of stability when I was young. I had to create it myself. So that's something I constantly work on, is strengthening that area
You're
of my
3/4 of the way there.
I'm how much?
3/4 of the way there.
Ooh, that's a lot better than it used to be because I used to be way closed off. So awesome, thank you. But when you are able to read, like Christopher just proved, when you are able to read those chakras, you are in a different kind of understanding then, because you know what your body's trying to tell you. And Chuck says most can't handle the truth. Isn't that?
And it's 4:20 in Florida. It's 3:21 here in Kansas City.
I was going to say in
Chuck, I
Vino
know what time it is for you out there.
Chuck's in
Vino-
Florida, so he's in Eastern time zone, so he's got his 420 weed going. I'm just kidding.
I would say so. Possibly a pre-roll and possibly with the raccoons.
Oh
Possibly
man!
both.
And on that, with respect to that galactic shift, and I was just talking to, we was in a deep conversation. I was talking about how the Earth and the speed of the earth is increasing. And I asked Meta AI, could that make a difference in how the animals act and us as beings that are pretty much animal too, that could that affect us? And at first it said no, it doesn't affect us. And then it said it did affect us when I asked to look at it in an esoteric mind frame. And what it was talking about was that, that animals can sense different climate change and different
Oh,
things
yeah.
that they say that higher frequency that the earth is having. And even me and we Chuck, I was talking about how like the raccoons come up and speak with them. He's got lizards over there. He's got cranes that land and all kind of different creatures that seem like he and he myself, you can tell when an animal is responding to you when you're saying something, and it's like an answer. You just can't understand the language it's speaking, but you know what it's saying. But my question is like with that galactic shift and what's going on with planet Earth, is it affecting humans? Is it affecting? What way is it affecting? Is it just because the frequency changes, or what do you guys think on that?
I'm
Chris, you
assuming
first.
you. Yeah.
Either one. Yes, either of you. Like, go ahead, ladies first if you like. Any response to that?
The question's a bit clear, so what are you trying to ask?
With the galactic shift and with the Earth frequency is supposed to be heightened to a certain degree because of the speed of the Earth going faster. What do you think is going to be the changes that happen with the human body, consciousness, brain function, anything of that sort? Anything is happening right now because of that.
It's just a collapse of third density themes and the opening slowly of fourth density themes, with the montage of third density themes being the chaotic darkness that's going on currently. And that is not the end of all things. So
Nope.
when you go beyond the fighting, you get the nearness of the frequency of the inner sun, the inner self sun. That is what is the electrical inner workings of the soul that powers the Merkaba, the vehicle that the soul rides in. And it's the light body. And when everybody's light bodies are turned on, boom, you get the social memory complex, the connectedness of the collective consciousness that's not unconscious anymore. It's completely conscious, completely aware. And when you can sense things the way animals do, then you've completed your second density. Yay, you complete second density after skipping it for thousands of years. Woohoo!
Right. Miss Sophia, I'm not sure if she's asking a question because out all the groups that's we're here to answer questions for. She says, "What disclosure is?" I'm not sure what is disclosure. Do you want to answer that, Chris?
You're kind of breaking up a little bit, Benny.
I am. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you were just for a moment there, kind of breaking up. I feel like I need to mention that many of us have chosen soul-wise to hold a certain frequency during this time of great big question marks, of anxiety, of fear, of not knowing what's going to happen next. We are literally here to tell you it's going to be okay, to hold a frequency of peace and hope. Because when disclosure completely comes, it's not going to be what you think. I feel like it's going to be more like, oh, you mean they've been here all along? And they've been influencing humanity this whole time? We just didn't know it? And now we're just waking up to it? When I first approached my husband and said, sweetheart, what would you say if I said that a race of beings millions of years ago seeded different planets and humanity grew from them, what would you say? And he said, no, it would drive people crazy who think that we were not alone. And I was like, why? And he said, because we have been taught our whole lives that we are it. We are the only planet. Now we're finding out maybe that's not true.
Right.
So I believe that those wonderful advanced beings that had the foresight to send some of us here to hold that frequency so humanity doesn't go absolutely gaga, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Miss Sophia said there was a conscious shift after COVID.
Yes, there was a conscious shift after COVID. I agree.
It
There
was
was
either COVID or war. We chose COVID.
consciousness shift because it was about compliance. And those of us who chose not to comply.
The planet also needed to be cleaned up in its atmosphere, and no one working means no pollution.
Yeah. Nature did need a break.
A big break. That COVID though, man, that was something else. That, you know, it changed.
Well, I read a book years ago called The Stand by Stephen King. And it was called Captain Trips in the book. And it came out in the late 70s, early 80s. And it was COVID. It was this horrible disease that took out, I believe, 98%, maybe even 99% of the planet. Only 1%, I believe, had a genetic mutation that allowed them to live through it. So they already told us what they planned to do. And they told us many years ago. And that is the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is these powers that be, they always tell us. And if we do not object, they assume we are compliant.
Correct. Right. And that right, that's a good point. That goes back to those beliefs, faith, and you know, that religious background. If we don't accept it, we don't have to accept, you know, these type of different things. I see Sophia Kohler said it's not the alien; they are shapeshifters. And to that, I would say that shapeshifting is alien to us. So when you
Shapeshifting
say
is natural to everybody that isn't an Earth human. Next.
Right? But people don't consider the fact that there are other beings and entities here on Earth. They
Yes,
think
fairies.
humanity is the only race here. And that, unfortunately, is not true.
correct, and that's the difference between alien and extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial means from a different territory or different planet. Alien means it's just alien, different from human. Was that pretty close at the time? Okay, what did she say?
Alien just means foreign. It has
I
nothing
love
to do with
the
human
question
or
that
not.
you have out there, Miss Sophia. She said they are trying to distract what God is doing. Roswell took place before Israel was known as a nation.
Hmm.
Well, not true, because Israel's been around for a long time, but you
Well,
know, well known as a nation, I would say.
1948.
1948 was the establishment of Israel as in the modern state of Israel.
Yes. And then 1967, I believe there was another
July
momentous.
2nd, July of 1947, I think, was the Roswell crash. And the Alien Interview, which talks about the prison planet Earth and a bunch of scary nonsense, came out of that mythos, which is the distraction that Sophia would probably be thinking about, which makes sense. And
If we
that
don't
was-
understand something, we're going to think of it as evil.
yes,
Right. Right. We don't have that cognitive dissonance that they put on a long, many generations ago. you know. And I didn't understand what an archon was. I used to hear people say that word all the time, archons and everything else. I'm like, who are these archons, man? I'm like, are they the fighting the Palladians, or are they
No,
at
no,
war with the?
no, archons are negative. They are a force that doesn't care for humanity. Thank you so much.
So they are the main agenda that some of the darker shadow workers, I call them now. Is that their agenda is archonic, or is that what the archon represents, or they're influenced by archon?
Anyone who goes into Gnosticism will believe in the dark, evil, shadowy, scary things, and that doesn't apply to my reality bubble. Therefore, I don't experience it at all whatsoever. Because
Good.
once you get into these non-physical, scary, dark things, that when I trace the origins of them, they just feel like they come from humans who don't know what they're doing, and they just threw a bunch of things into their own belief systems and spread it across a bunch of humans across a bunch of centuries and millennia, and then created out of that the mass hysteria of the dark. And then that created all the demons and the hellish scape of the astral that we created ourselves for ourselves to represent to ourselves our own shadows. It's like the giant recycle bin that you put all the stuff you don't want on your computer into without actually deleting anything. But it's the astral instead, and what's put in the astral stays there pretty much until it succumbs to astral decay, at which point it becomes more monstrous.
Which kind of ties into that belief that Egyptians had that your soul had to be light as a feather. Because if you have not cleansed yourself of all that stuff and it goes up into the astral, it's still yours. You haven't dealt with it.
Yep. That's why Casey talks about the picnic basket, and if it's empty, good luck trying to find your way out. If it's full, you're going to your next incarnation.
Christopher,
I have a
Ben,
beautiful picture that this beautiful angel made me, Christopher, and her name is Kristen Harden here, and it's Orion, the Orion constellation. And did you describe the importance of Orion when you speak about even our origins of the human race, and where Orion and those I can never say
Pleiadians.
Pleiadian. Pleiadian.
Palladian. And can you guys
Pleiadian.
so some people that don't understand when they because everyone have seen probably Orion's belt, but to understand the whole constellation, you guys talk a little on how that Orion or Pleiades and the seven sisters are connected to us. That's a good deep question there.
No, actually, it's happening because the moon and the seven sisters just met up. So the Pleiades. Let's see, what do I have here? Oh, I'm something right here. All right. So, let's see if you can see it here. We have this star right here. This right here is Alcyon. That is the star of origin for a lot of people that came from the council. And then Pi Delta is up here. And that is also another civilization that is Pleiadian that I am aware of. And then, then the question is, if the Pleiades are gaseous, how could there have been life? Well, it comes, as I understand it, from a time when there were planets. When there were, and time is not as linear as we think. So to have those scouts come isn't as strange. I know that you said August 7th, but that's my birthday, so every time I see it, I kind of giggle. Yeah.
I'm a Halloween.
Well, August 7th is like the end of the Lion's Gate. I want to say the 8th, August 8th is the strongest day of the Lion's Gate, but August 7th is right towards the end.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what he's referencing. I'm trying to remember, but there was something that was going to happen right around the end of, or right around that time in August.
Right.
And
Sophia,
Sophia Lion is shooting an arrow in the direction of Planet X. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah.
mhm. That other comment that she said, do you know, where was it? You guys realize?
Do you
Well,
guys realize that Zeta Reticuli appeared in the sky after Betty Hill passed? Wow. Well, because she pointed to what I believe was Vega, but that was the star system that that they came through.
okay.
And check
If
this.
some
I'm
of you
so
guys out there don't know who Betty and Barney Hill were a couple of the first major abductions that were put into the news and everything else. And her dress was ripped in different places and everything. I believe that there was experiments that was done on her,
Yep.
more than with the husband also, but they had found, different type of radiation. Then they also found, I believe it was implant somewhere in Betty also, or
The
in or
implants
on.
were
I
to
can't remember
monitor the
exactly what.
vitals and the compatibility between the humans and the Greys in order to create the Yayo.
Speak up a little bit more, Chris. I can't hear you.
Creating the Yayo.
Yayo?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Is that a hybrid of gray aliens and humans?
There are 22 hybridization programs, 62 gray species, and hundreds of hybridized species produced from these programs. The tall whites are one of the offshoots of the grays, and they can only live to be 800 because they get brittle with their bones and they grow too big, and their bones are so brittle that they start breaking because of the bigness of their bodies, and then that's how they die.
Interesting.
Wow.
Hmm.
Right there, August 6th, it dropped the bomb on
Zeta
Japan.
Reticuli, I think, is Orion.
Zeta Reticuli is Orion.
Yeah.
So Orion in nature? All right. What about the Orion social memory complex? Is that negative or positive?
It depends, because if it's the really militaristic group of the Rigelians, then it's more negative. They are wanting to have a response to the raw material at some point that explains who and what they are and why, but they haven't picked the right conduit for it yet. It's not the right time yet. But Raw doesn't know everything either, even though it's a 6-density social memory complex. So they still have their own issues to go through with respect to Orion, and they don't know everything about Orion based upon what was put into the raw material. And they used Orion, the negative parts of Orion, to easily illustrate what would happen if humanity kept going down the path that it's going down before it went through the harvest. And it's still going through the harvest.
So like a cautionary tale.
Yes.
Okay.
Sophia says there, Genesis 6, sons of God had sex with the women, the same thing in the alien abduction. What do you guys say to that?
Huh?
That was a little different. Genesis 6, to repeat, Sophia says in Genesis 6, the sons of God had sex with women, the same. Oh, I just lost it.
Nephilim, yes.
Yep. We know about that. They
The
created the
giants.
fundamentals, the Nephilim. But I just heard something recently that said those women that had lain with the fallen angels were turned into the sirens of the sea. And I thought that was interesting.
Chuck, those sirens might be those jellyfish people that some people don't know what sirens are. They're considered mermaids, and not the cartoon Little Mermaid, not her.
No, the
The
scary
other ones
They are
Down
the water
that
versions of
ocean
harpies
in-
originally.
that we've only discovered we've only mapped about 10% of the ocean. We've discovered more about space than we have on our own planet. It's down in those oceans, and now we found there's oceans under the ocean. So there it
The
is, like you said, a lot of things.
the Atlanteans,
What'd you say, Chris?
the Atlantean pirate mages made all of the sea monsters. Period.
Wow, that makes
Chuck
sense.
says the devil. No.
I was one of them once.
I think you still are. You just came out of the water. You're
I came out on the land, not in the oceans. That's the only difference.
Yes. And if time isn't linear, then we're still living those lives.
Yes.
Ooh,
It's like
that's
an
gonna
interlocking pyramid or a web. That's how other memory works in Dune.
That is absolutely, yeah. You hit a good topic right there. How we still live in those Kristen, but hey, you have to get into that for another day there, because that's an absolute great topic. And, people start understanding, that soul and different dimensions, and we're living in what we're in right now is the now. Future and the past are already right now. And can you explain what I mean by that, Christopher and Kristen? Because some people don't understand that concept of linear time, and how when we have these different thoughts, like when you dream, what's in control then? That's your consciousness that's taking over. Is that the true self, or is this reality? This 3D, light spectral, holographic world that we live in, is this reality? Which one would you guys say is true reality?
It's not either or. It's both. It's whatever you choose it to be. It's all customizable.
We create our own reality. We allow or disallow whatever our truth is. I used this not long ago as an example. I made it to my age because I didn't do certain things. I didn't go out to dangerous places after dark. I didn't go driving during a snowstorm. I didn't go boating on a day when it looked like it might storm. I did things by instinct that would allow me to live a longer age, right? Our souls do the same thing. When we want to experience something, there's no stopping us. We'll create a path to get there. If we really, truly want it, we get it. I can't see a little lizard saying, I intend to have 17 flies by the end of the day. He's not going to do that, but he may go find those 17, but he's not going to say, I'm going to have them and have them.
Right.
It's going to take some action on his part. Humans,
same way.
Will it to be so.
But it takes action, like you said.
Yes. And there's something I read also recently, and I just would like to read it to you because it kind of exemplifies where I'm at in my journey right now and what I will and will not allow. Okay. So here's what it is. And I'm just going to read it. Okay. So it says, I call no curse, I cast no stone, but wrongs against me reap their own. The harm they send returns in kind. No power to break my heart or mind. I walk in strength, I walk in light, protected by the day and night. So let it be, the scales are true, the universe restores what's due. What are we calling to ourselves?
Right.
Is it negative or positive?
I want to call positive to my. I
Good.
tried to.
I like that answer. And, our darling friend Virgo once put up a little meme that said, "Who's the most positive person in your world?" And that answer should be, we are.
You, yes, us.
Yes, we are. No one else. We are.
Awesome. It looks like Sophia said TV shows a hunting show where ghosts are physically having sex with the people or attracting people. It could be the alien shapeshift is another word, or the devil disguised himself as an angel of light means message.
Um,
I didn't hear most of that.
so let me read that. Let's see. Where'd it go?
Okay, I'll throw it back up there.
TV show. No, it did it again. I'm gonna
Okay,
turn
that's the
that
wrong
one.
one.
There we go.
Okay,
Now
here it is.
I got it. There we go. On stage. A TV show. It was a haunting show where ghosts are physically having sex with people. Now, I don't believe that. I believe that those are shapeshifters. I don't think that a ghost can manifest enough to have sex with a human. I just no.
It has to
So
be immortals from the secret immortal cities that are owned by the Atlanteans or the former pantheons for it to be the shapeshifters from those places rather than actual ghosts, because ghosts are just electromagnetic energy that represent themselves. They're bending the light of our world to represent what they looked like in life.
yes, and to create a succubus or an incubus is a totally different story than having a ghost visit you.
Yes, and succubi and incubi themselves don't become fully physical either. They usually inhabit weakling humans to do that physical
Yes.
stuff rather than actually shapeshifting.
Right. Aren't they supposed to be self manifesting? Or this is self manifesting? Right.
Usually
Just
they're
like
representative of the amount of shadow self that needs to be worked on.
That sounds right.
nice 3 months before.
It's so scary because when you are being attacked in your sleep and you don't know why, and someone says, "Oh, it's an incubus or a succubus," and oh, by the way, you created it, you're like, "What? What?" But it is something unresolved that has to be looked at, and it is of a sexual nature.
Right.
Otherwise, it would not be there.
Yeah.
Right.
Most
Just
demons are man-made.
to tell you, Sophia, I did a YouTube video called Exorcism of a Succubus. Now I'm not through with the church and giving exorcisms and things of that sort. I tell people all the time. I try to help and heal people that are traumatized by certain things. So what I did was just strengthened his spiritual awareness that he has already grounded in himself when I did this exorcism, so to speak, because the guy was having all the symptoms of a succubus experience. If you guys don't know what that is, it's when you're having sleep paralysis or you feel like you're being held down or something while you're sleeping has a hold of either your private parts and does things like that. To men, it's usually the succubus. To women, it's usually the incubus. Now, one understanding that I had a while back, I don't know, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, that they say that this is how demon seeds are made. That usually the succubus encounters with the man, gets that man's seed out of them. Now,
Yeah.
the succubus and incubus are not, there's a two gender being. It's both. It's incubus and succubus because it transitions to the succubus. And then the sleep paralysis, no, it transitions to the incubus. And then that seed is implanted in that woman with her encounter with the incubus. And then sometimes a child is born through that. And that's what they say is a devil seed. Now, that was just an old esoteric, I would say Bradley Powers had, is where I've got that understanding of incubus and succubus. You guys see that any different? And Chris, your camera, you're back to the plan there. Come back to the camera a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more. There you go. There's that pretty face that I like there. But what do you guys concept of what the incubus and succubus do? Because that's actually a shapeshifter. It's a shapeshifter, but it's still an entity that they say also that Lilith is supposed to be the one that controls the incubus and succubus. Any comment?
Lilith is queen of demons.
A little louder, buddy.
Lilith is queen of demons.
Lilith is the queen of demons.
Okay.
Is what. My understanding is that it is sexual frustration that can create an incubus and a succubus. So if you have a healthy sex life, you are less likely to be bothered.
Man, the way my body hurts so much, man. What is a healthy sex life now?
Open your chakras and figure it out.
TMI.
We love you. We love you too, Sophia. Sophia says, yes, I still have sleep paralysis today, a lot of spiritual encounters. What could be going on with her there, Kristen or Chris?
Usually sleep paralysis is one way of the body saying that it wants the astral body to come out, but it doesn't know how yet. You can use that while visualizing going into a remote viewing session where you are going to like make your eyes see purple and black and white of a different scene, and then the light goes into color and your consciousness gets slurped out, and then you go across the causal or astral planes that way. And the sleep paralysis can be used as a tool rather than a hindrance to kickstart that so that your body is stuck still on your bed while your awareness goes out and flails around and does whatever it wants with the jellyfish people. And then it comes back and brings what it learns.
Yeah. So the sleep paralysis can be like a diving board for you to jump off into where you need to go. It's just how you look at it.
It's like flea powder in Harry Potter where you jump between chimneys and you have to get out at the right grate.
Yeah. And don't say diagonally.
You have to say Diagon Alley.
Diagon Alley, not diagonally.
Yes. Then you go into Nocturne Alley and get, hit by Draco.
Right. Which is not good. And then Hagrid has to come and save you.
Yes.
Awesome.
We're at an hour and a half, Benny. How long did you want to go?
That's what I was just going to tell you. This has been so awesome. I definitely want to part two to this. I mean, this was great topics, and we touched on a few different things, and we touched all the different topics that we're going to speak about today. And I just want to say, I love you guys both. I love you, Kristen. I love you, Chris. You guys, you know that, I have to deal with a lot of different things with the chat groups. And, Kristen, you're part of the, you know what I mean, and being one of the administrators. And, I go through a lot of gaslighting. I've been gang stalked. It's a lot of that out there. And us
Sarah
people that
Williams
try
effect,
to bring light bringers, and the term light bringers, and what we're here to do is, I take on the concept of wounded healer, that I've been wounded and I've learned to heal myself. I can't heal someone else. I can only explain to them how I help myself so that they can help themselves. And I think it's a lot of healing that needs to go on out there, because a lot of people just try to find the negative in everything, the negative aspect. You can always find a yin and yang in anything, because it's always different polarity. And some of the folks that are coming as, in the signs of healer and light bringers, that are attacking the message and the message of us trying to help each other. What do you guys, last question there, what should be done about that? How do us as light bringers push forward through some of the different interpretations, I would say, that some of the people that go against some of the positive energy that we're trying to put out there?
Well, if they're going against positive energy, are they themselves positive?
Nope.
Good point.
Right. So if our joy offends them, so be it.
All right. Somebody has a question for you, Kristen.
Yeah.
Miss Hardy, how long have you been involved with UFO and alien abduction?
Yvonne Smith? I do not know who Yvonne Smith is. How long have I been involved with it? Oh my goodness. Since I was 8 years old and almost abducted, and had a tall, white, beautiful, angelic looking being save me from abduction and show me a mudra, which I didn't know what a mudra was, but I'm just gonna show it to you. This is a mudra, and
Right.
is an interlocking of the thumb and right forefinger on both sides. And it was explained to me that this was like a perception filter, an energy disguiser, and that these abduction types that were trying to abduct me, that looked sort of like mantids, because they looked kind of like gray, but their eyes went all the way to the side, like here, and there were 3 of them. So I had a first-hand encounter that I tried to like brush aside, put away, tell myself I was dreaming, but none of the details ever changed, and none of that feeling of truth ever changed. So my current incarnation, I'm almost 63, I was 8 years old, 55 years of experience.
Wow. That's awesome.
And I believe that I have been reporting to something or someone my entire life, trying to understand humanity, trying to see it with soft eyes. And yet, what have I witnessed? Wars. War after war after war, violence, infighting, the color of your skin, the color of your hair. There was a while where if you were redhead, people didn't like you because they had gingeritis. I mean, the things that people find crazy, right? I have no idea why people get so uptight about little things when we are all flowers in God's garden, in Source's garden, in whoever's garden you want to call it. We're all different, but we all bring something unique and beautiful to this world, or we wouldn't be here.
Right. And I love that, because there's only one race, the human race, and the prejudice needs to be taken out of everybody. We're just like jelly beans. We're all that same jelly bean. We just got different colors on.
Yeah.
Got a little more melanin in me, and some have less. All right, Miss Sophia, I'm going to take this last question, and then we're going to wrap up here. She says, tell me something. I guess, have you seen a tall, transparent being, but its face looks like an alien? Christopher, can you answer that one?
I have not touched anything that wasn't from this earth, so that indicates I haven't seen it. Because, blindness, you don't see things with your eyes. So,
Okay. Well, before we end, let's
It's an energy being to me.
right.
If it is transparent, it's blue because it
the
sounds like
blue
an energy
people,
being. Yeah.
the blue people are stuck on Earth between dimensions, and they don't know how to get out.
Yeah.
They're not harmful. They're
Roll
just
toward you a little bit
visitors.
more, Christopher, before we end, so we can see there. Now, before we close out, do we? Well, I'm gonna play a couple of things real quick before we close out, and then we get up out of here. Because you know me, I'm a jokester. One more question popped up. Sophia says, I was 10 when the Challenger took place. I grew up with Whitney Stiebler. Do you guys know about reflection? I don't. I do not. But
Well, there
Yep,
is
I'm
a
that Minister
theory
KI,
that
the Anunnaki teacher.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kristen.
there's a theory that the Challenger explosion never happened, and that those people are still alive. And I want to say it was on the Matrix Minds that was exposed.
Right.
I don't know. In a reality, it didn't happen. So it kind of depends on which reality we are in.
True. True.
Go
Yeah.
ahead with your video.
Yeah. Well, first, like I said, is there any, wrapping up, what advice would you give to those people out there that are unawakened and those that are awakened? What is the best advice on when they're going through these different types of symptoms or becoming aware of things that they used to didn't believe in that now they see are true? What would you guys, this is both opinion, what would you advise people out there to do or send a word out to folks? You got there, Kristen. She always got the book.
I'm reading a book out called You're Not Dying, You're Just Waking Up. Because it does feel like we're dying sometimes. But we are letting go of all those old things that no longer serve us. When we wake up, we get to have a brand new vision, a brand new dream, a brand new day. We're not stuck in what happened before. So give yourself permission to explore, to feel, to find your own truth. And know
Yes.
that with every experience, it's going to add to your awakening. Nothing is wrong.
It's all a learning experience.
It's all a learning experience. Whatever doesn't resonate with you, you don't have to continue. If someone
That's right.
says something to you that does not feel right, you have the right to speak up and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you." You're not being rude, you're just stating how you feel.
I do that all the time.
I know.
Christopher, what advice do you have for everybody out there to stay on track with focusing on, trying to attention and, and getting their attention? What advice do you have?
Find and express your inner abundance, and everything else falls into place automatically.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like what I heard when I was younger. If you find something you love and you make that your field, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
And guys, when we do end, continue, if you watch it, continue to send questions through comments because it goes to Kristen and myself. And we'll get Christopher Peebles up in there. Happy to answer any questions. that you guys have, because that's what we're here for. That we might not have all the answers. And as a disclaimer here, I'll just tell everyone out there, don't take our word for it, but like how Kristen and Chris said, investigate. Find the truth for yourself. The truth is in you, and it's out there to be found. You know, and that's kind of what my video right here that I was going to play. I was acting, you know, it's comedic, but it's true. But, you know, you're going to see me acting a little bit here.
Yep, I'm that Minister K.I., the Anunnaki teacher. Yep, from Kansas City. Yep, that's me. I heard y'all been talking about me out there. And that's good, because you used to call us conspiracy theorists, but now you call us truth finders, because our governments and all these other things, they don't want to tell us the truth about how really religion was based and how these governments are set up. But that's okay. Be mad at Minister K.I., because I'm going to keep telling people and keep breaking that cognitive dissonance, meaning that we were taught wrong in religions, in schools, in all of these different places. Because if our kids had total knowledge of all the information that they had back there that they could have taught them, just imagine your kid could be like Elon Musk, you know, like a Zuckerberg and all that. But that's why certain information is kept from certain people. That's why it's good for your children to learn different languages like Latin and things like that, because the phonetics that the English.
I was saying that the phonetics of the English language have been changed. You guys know what spelling is. It's past spell. So be careful what you say, and make sure that your self-affirmation is positive. Never talk down on yourself, because your body hears you. It reacts to that. And I love how when Aurora said it on your show, Kristen, that when we're putting out all that negative in the universe, you understand quantum entanglement, that it's coming right back at you. It's going to come back in a different form. So it's best to put out positive vibes, positive energy like we're trying to do. We're not looking for the negative in you. We're trying to help you find the positive in you. And you got to do, go ahead.
Exactly. And we're not trying to tell you that our way is the right way. We're asking you to look for the right way within yourself. Because there will be a lot of false prophets. There will be a lot of teachers that say, my way or the highway. Don't listen to them. Listen to yourself.
I left some Discord servers who had that.
What was that, Chris?
I left some Discord servers who had that type of belief.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We don't need.
You guys want to answer these other two questions before we go, or are you guys ready to do?
Go ahead.
To go up. Okay, because it's a new person. Somebody named Rachel Robinson said this is live with. This is live. Hi, Christopher Peebles.
Yes, it is, Rachel.
She's my biggest fan.
Oh, she's a
so
sweet
last comment that she says here is God says the earth is passing away and the earth will melt away with fervent heat. Well,
but God also said, I will never leave you or forsake you. So if he is going to make the earth lava and molten, and, you know, we're not going to be able to walk on it like little kids, you know, when the floor is lava, then he's going to send a mothership. I'm convinced.
And also remember that if you follow that biblical model, that it says there'll be a new heaven and a new earth. So, just if you're a teaching person, don't take everything that you read just at face value. Make sure that you understand the symbolic meaning of some of these things too, because symbolism was one of the main languages what we had, right? Different things like that. Likewise, a lot of people just to not just take everything as face value. Read, try to see what it is, the discernment in yourself that comes out of it. But one thing I'd like to end it here. You guys are absolutely great. You guys know that you're my sister and my little brother there. Quantum Critic, Omni Collective. Which tell everyone, Kristen, how to find you. I know your show, it's part of our studio family, Love First Production, and you're on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:20. Chuck Cullen, 4:20. Can you tell us a little bit of how to find you, or what you're gonna be doing?
The show is called Just a Moment, and it is an interview show. When I have guests, I interview them, I ask questions, and when I don't
I've been
have
wanting.
guests, I read aloud.
Yes, I love what you've been doing. That's why I missed you so much when you was gone. So happy to have you back. And they can
Well,
also find you on Facebook and YouTube, correct?
yes, I am there, and hoping to soon be on the radio, but we'll see what happens with that.
Okay. And also in Love First, you guys know our sister is not here now. Tony Bolts is also part of our Love First production. And Christopher Peebles.
Will show is amazing. She has such a positive message. So make
Oh
sure
man.
that when it's called The Soul Rising, I believe. And
Hmm.
when that comes up, make sure to watch it because every time I watch it, it just makes my soul so happy to know that, our sister Tony is doing this beautiful message.
Yes, absolutely beautiful. Christopher Peoples, tell us, what can we expect from you? I know that you're a writer, and that, you're a sci-fi writer, and plus you do music, and like I said, you're an inspiration, Christopher, to people with disabilities, especially a blind person. Someone asked me one day, they were like, "How can somebody blind, be on Facebook?" I was like, "Look, Christopher Peoples, that's the only blind guy that I know that can see everything. He knows all and sees all." But tell people what we have to expect from you in the future, Chris, because I know you got so many different projects that you're working on, and how to find you.
I'm just going to be releasing a bunch of music between now and forever, and I'm on YouTube at Omni Collective Creativity. I'm also going to have book reviews on my author channel until I become an author, and then I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on SoundCloud and X, and you can find all of those things in my YouTube description for my
I'm
channel.
I'm gonna have to find you on SoundCloud so we can intertwine there because that your music is just beautiful. What Christopher does is takes instrumental music and adds light language to it. It's just beautiful.
He's awesome. Sophia Collier, he says, "Can I be a part of your show?" We sure can. We love the energy, and we love people that are interested in learning. Each of them, Christian, myself, Tony, Chris, Peoples, and those people that I'm around. That's what we try to do. We want to find those that are ready to, each one, reach one, each one, teach one. It's like I said, don't take everything as many trends. Hey, Minister K.I. became an Anunnaki teacher just in music and elevation and how I learned. These aren't names that I say that I am an Anunnaki and I'm a teacher and I'm walking in the. No, that isn't where I attained those names from. It was just my understanding as I grew in knowledge, because knowledge is one thing. Knowledge is power, but understanding knowledge, it becomes a tool. And that's where we're at here. We use the tool of knowledge to try to help other people understand. But like Kristen said, hey, don't take our word for it. Like Kristen said, hey, investigate. That's why I got Christopher Peoples around me. He's my human AI. I can, ask him questions, and that's what we're here for. But like I said, this has been great. We're going on every 2 hours here. You guys have been absolutely awesome. You guys are my nunchucks of knowledge, man. And we're gonna keep on fighting here. But you like to say bye to everybody. Tell Mr. R. Hart, tell Paul I said, hey, love you, brother. And tell your sisters, give my hug from the Christian people. You want to say bye to everybody out there before we wrap it up and say goodbye? Kristen, you first.
You want me to go first?
You want to sit down some love? Because Christopher probably goes scare me with one of those voices. That's all. Leave him laugh. Him and Chuck always have to.
Well, everybody, again, thank you for having me on, Benny. I really enjoyed the show. Um, just be kind to each other, everybody. We're going through some really tough times right now, whether it is financial or anxiety or relationships. Mercury's retrograde. Everything's a little weird. So just be kind to yourself first. Look at yourself with soft eyes. And then it's so much easier to look at the world with soft eyes. That's my advice for the day.
Great advice. Christopher Peebles, what kind of advice do you have? Don't try to send me, Galactic Federation meetings and everything. I think you sending me sometimes, man, to these portals and don't be telling.
Just find your abundance and stick with it, and share it only when people are in agreement with it being shared, and everything else will fall into place with your own truth and everyone else's own truth. And so it is.
I think Benny expected to be a little longer winded.
When we get to the end, the door is not. But with that, we're going to say peace and love to everybody out there. We glad you guys, like I said, any other comments, go ahead and comment on the show that you'll see different groups, different chats. Kristen will be there, myself will be there, Christopher People. Look forward to the show that me and Kristen, we had thought of for Christopher People. Just go as Omni, the Omni Collective, CEO, the quantum critic himself is going to be one of the first here. He's been a part before. Me and Christopher have had a show. What was it? Exploring New Phenomenon was the first one that we had had before. He'd also been on Untwisting Time way back when we were in another studio. So I got someone that wants to say goodbye to you guys. What's his name again? Loki. Loki said, hey. This little kitty right here, Christopher, little gray with like white little paws right here.
Yeah.
Trying to fight them. I want to keep it. He's too cute. So Loki says bye to everybody out there. And with that, I'm going to close out. Peace and love. We look forward to a part 2 to this. So that we're going to go off into a couple of more things. Hopefully here in the next few days, if I can, wrangle up Kristen and Christopher P. Look for a Kristen show. Sometimes I appear on there as a guest, when I'm not too busy, and we've got great energy. That's all I'm going to say. I don't have to sell you guys on it. You can hear it right now. So peace and love from Minister K.I., the Anunnaki teacher. And love someone. Love energy is one of the strongest energies in this area. And that's what we need to continue to do. Peace out. God bless you guys. I'll do a little of my Tai Chi, bow staff here, just to give us a little energy here. Where we go. That makes me look like not Bruce Lee, but Ben Lee. I'm Ben Lee. My daddy's Benny Lee. I'm Ben Lee, not Bruce Lee. Peace and love, everyone. God bless. My outro doesn't want to come here, so we'll just go with the outro. See you guys. Peace and love.